Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. As we get closer to the launch of the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program, doors open August 1, I'm definitely going to jump on and answer questions being asked about the program because I think they'll serve everyone. Today's question is from a lovely bookkeeper, and she says, currently I do not have a website. Does this program offer any training or provide any information on having a website that stands out? So absolutely, I'd like to dive into that today and talk to you about websites, about client attraction, because we want to talk about why we even have a website. But I'm going to give you some insights into so much more. Whether you join the program or you don't join the program, this episode is going to give you strategies in order to absolutely do better in business, in order to build your thriving practice, delight your clients, and live your dream on your terms. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it, my friends.
I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success, my secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients.
I am just going to quickly apologize if the audio for this podcast is not amazing. I have done all the IT things. I've got Ethernet connected in my office. I had a heated discussion the other day with my network provider and I'm just struggling. So yeah, just apologies in advance if the audio is less than perfect, but I hope the content is killer. So let's jump right in. And first off, I'm going to have a little whinge and just apologize if I get croaky. I have had a month of COVID and then influenza A with a side of bronchitis. And so I am trying to get over that right now with the help of cortisone. And I'm actually feeling really good, but I've got that nagging cough. If I'm being honest, I've really enjoyed the quiet time at home to reflect and just hang out by myself and with my son. I am interrupting this podcast to make a very special announcement, and that is the doors to the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program will open August 1. Lots of people have been asking me, and I am announcing it right now. August 1, if you're on the wait list, you'll have the opportunity to join. I want to ask you, are you ready to move from being busy to thriving, from being a bookkeeper to being a strategic bookkeeper? Are you ready to come into a community that will support you and lift you up to build the business and life of your dreams? Because I'm ready to hold your hand every step of the way and help you go from strength to strength. And I tell you, there is no better time than right now. So to celebrate the launch of the transformation program, there are foundation member bonuses. Celebration bonuses I've been dreaming about giving my foundation members for 3 years as I've built this program for you off the back of my 13 years in practice. Now, if you join the waitlist, if you're not already on it, at thestrategicbookkeeper.global /waitlist, easy, you're going to get all the details of the program, okay? I have built this program for every bookkeeper, like that years ago. I started building it for every bookkeeper. And actually, I decided to price the program for every bookkeeper, okay? And it comes with a money-back guarantee, my heart's desire to help bookkeepers. I want to help you very much to play your strengths, okay, by supporting you in the things that you might not be as good at, yeah, which is often like the businessy stuff. And I'm talking about sales and marketing collateral as well as end-to-end standard operating procedures, okay? But like I said, Join the program waitlist so that you get all the details. There's so much. And there is a whole podcast dedicated to this. I want to help you build a thriving practice, delight your clients, and ultimately live your dream on your terms. Okay, that is the income and lifestyle you want and deserve. So this is exactly what I've done in my practice, and now it's my heart's desire to help you do exactly the same thing. So as I've created the transformation program, or the TP as I call it in the background, I have absolutely imagined the bookkeeper in my mind, okay? And to some extent, to a large extent, that was me at the beginning of my journey, okay? So absolutely I've reflected on my own journey when I was a bookkeeper right at the beginning, starting my practice with a baby in my belly and beautiful 8-year-old twin stepchildren on my hip, never knowing where this journey would take me, but just wanting to get started, right, and have a crack and have a go and figure it out as I went along. In terms of when I did decide to get a website, fairly early on, because I'm very future focused around the tech and economic landscape. I like to recognize what is happening, what is coming, and be an early adopter. That's absolutely me. So I think I started out with a free website from way back then. In Australia, we have Yellow Pages. I got started. I felt like I had something, but then I started to realize that my little business was growing, and I got that spark and that itch for wanting to do something more. And so I tried another web developer, and it didn't do anything. Like, if we think about the purpose of your website, it's really client attraction, right? It's a place that people should be able to get to know, like, and trust you and find out all about you so that they can see if your vibe is their vibe, and if they think you can solve their problems. So ultimately this is about having a website that can get found on Google, and that your prospective clients, if they are referred to you, are able to go to start to get to know you 24/7 digitally online, which was not such a big thing way back then. If somebody was referred to you, they would ring you. These days, that is not the case. Let me be very clear. Post-pandemic, if somebody is referred to you, they're going to want to check you out online, and they're going to want to buy when they are ready. So I put myself in the hands of people that were telling me they knew what they were doing. I remember my first couple of iterations of websites, just thought I knew a fair bit about business. I was raised by a really successful entrepreneur who got advertising right, and a website definitely is a form of your advertising. And I thought, this isn't working. So one day I met someone, and he was part of an organization that had a reputation for being like the biggest and the best, and they were pretty expensive in website development. And so I thought, I've dealt with people that are obviously kind of amateurs. One of them was a global leader, Yellow Pages, but I felt like obviously they don't really know what they're doing, so it seems like this guy knows what he's doing. So I threw a heap of money at him, and he made me something that looked really, really nice, okay? He made me something that looked really, really good and got me 0 results. And while that was frustrating to me, it was also fascinating to me. Like, I was like, okay, this is what these people do for a living, yeah? And they are creating pretty stuff, but it's not getting me an outcome. It's not functional. And so, long story short, I sat down and I actually thought about my father's success, and I thought about the things that influenced his success, and I sat down and I designed and I developed my website myself. Now, I didn't do the technical aspect. That is actually the easier part. At the time, I think I was connected by a business buddy to a really lovely guy that lives in Pakistan that used to do a lot of work for this business buddy of mine. So there was, a good reputation. And I gave him the full brief. So I designed the website and everything that was going to go in it. And all he had to do was put it into, back then, the WordPress template, right? In terms of being found on Google, like search engine optimization sounds technical, and look, these days it is much more technical. We've actually recruited a search engine optimization person for the Strategic Bookkeeper team, and I'll kind of pause there and just remind you that with the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program, the 5 ways that I make it work, a 5-step process, is education, assets, implementation, team, and support. So in terms of team, you've got a team behind the scenes that conceivably you couldn't recruit yourself, okay? And you get my little black book. So I built a website that worked. Way back then, social media was still small, but I thought I should probably have a basic social media presence and do a few other things. And what happened is back then, and still to this day, there is a truth in with search engine optimization. The first thing that you need to do is show up online with good content and make sure that you're visible. So that's kind of like step 1. Once again, these days, a little more complex, but I did those things. I built a strategic website based on everything I knew in business, right? Contra to what these alleged professionals were telling me. I built it the way that I knew sales worked, and it worked for me, okay? But I'm going to tell you something else. So this is some years ago, right? When I really nailed my website by building it myself, I feel like it was about 8 or so years ago, okay? And then we ask ourselves, what's changed in 8 years? So I'm just going to tell you a little story about that. So as you may know, I work strategically with many of my clients. And one client I was working with, he's like in the electrician trade kind of space. He was getting a website built, and he asked me to have a look at the website build. So I got on and had a look, and I spoke to his developer, and I said to his developer, this website is absolutely beautiful. Visually, it is absolutely gorgeous. And he said to me, thank you so much. You know, I think it is too. I said, it is. Honestly, it is gorgeous. And I do not see it generating any sales. And that led to a conversation between him and I about why. And look, the basis of that was that while graphics were beautiful and everything about it was pretty, it didn't have the strategic moving parts that called the website visitor to action, that even offered up a competitive edge, unique selling propositions, back to call to actions, profile, results-based marketing, everything else that you need to have in a website. Now, here's the really shocking part about that story. That web developer said to me, I agree. He said, I agree that this website has not been built to generate sales whatsoever. And so, of course, I inquired, why he had done that then. He told me that he was unable to get from the client the images and the various things that he needed in order to make it a website that converted the visitors into actual customers. And so he just did his best and built a pretty website rather than a powerful part of a sales machine, which, to be honest, is what a website is designed to be. The moral of that story being that many web developers are graphic designers, and graphic designers are often built to make visually beautiful stuff, but not necessarily understand the sales process and all the other parts of how to build a strategic website. Another client of mine got really excited about a year ago because she was building a new website. And from the get-go, I thought, oh crap, I've got a crystal ball. I can see the problem she's going to have, because she got cracking with a web developer and started to make all the cool stuff and the cool assets without having a mapped out plan that would make it far more process driven than creative. Okay. And really, I do believe that's how you build a strategic, smart website that does what it's meant to do. Yeah. If we think about that, so somebody visits your website, they're able to get the information they need. They're able to get to know, like, and trust you. So they're able to see your profile, your reputation, the things that are important. They're able to build your competitive advantage based on what they're seeing. And so if you have a process, right, for building a website that is going to work, then it's about the step-by-step process and just implementing that over a very tight timeline, okay? So this client of mine, they think at the beginning, yay, build the website, I've engaged a professional, we'll be done with this in no time, yeah? And a year later, they're telling me, do you know what? We haven't actually finished that website. I just don't know how to do this bit and that bit. And only they can do it, okay? So the web developer can make stuff look pretty and they can maybe do some other stuff. A marketing copywriter is actually probably a really important piece of the puzzle, right? And in terms of the transformation program, guess what? You get 2 marketing copywriters at the moment. You get my amazing lead strategist, and I personally am a passionate marketing copywriter myself. Since I was a very young girl, I have always loved writing. Now, in my book, I do give you, I give you a playbook and I give you suggested website pages and I give you some help in there and I talk about a lot around that. But let's talk about program and how it helps you. Let me refer back to the question I've got here. So currently I do not have a website. Does the program offer any training or provide any information on having a website that stands out? What a great question. Having a website that stands out. Boom. So the answer to that question is absolutely yes, I give you lots of stuff. So back to the beginning of my journey, and I held myself in my mind and I said, if I had have known this, if I had have had this kind of help, if somebody had have stepped in and did this for me and with me, what would the impact of those things have been? And here's what I came up with. I thought, well, it would have been helpful for someone to tell me everything I need to know. That's the education piece. And then if they already know all of those things, it would have been helpful if they just gave me a whole lot of stuff that I needed done for me, like the digital assets and collateral. Then once I got told what I needed to know and got given all that great digital collateral, I know from experience that I would have needed that person to help me implement it all. So just hold my hand every step of the way, definitely for the first year, so that I could practice and, fall over, ask questions, try again and get it all right. And then I thought I also would have needed, who are the other kind of experts and professionals that I need to help me with this stuff ongoing? And that was the team, right? So it'd be great if rather than have to figure all that out myself and go and try and find these people and make all the mistakes that I made along the way with the wrong web developers and just everything else with being clueless around who I need to do what, right? It would have been great if someone said, oh, don't worry, you just need this, and actually we've got those people in the little black book, right? And then the very last thing was that early on in my journey and even throughout a lot of my journey, I was meeting suppliers, I was meeting other bookkeepers, and definitely I've told a story of how helpful Dext was in terms of putting me in front of people and information that was helpful. Ultimately, I never had anyone that knew more than I did. And so I felt alone. And so that last piece of the puzzle was very much the support. I thought, imagine if I had have had somebody like myself 13 years later that was there to support me with a team behind them. And then imagine if they put me in a community of people where we came together and we lifted each other up to do all this. And that's how I came up with education assets, implementation, team support. So in terms of developing your website, we give you information, assets, implementation, team and support, but let's just dive into a little bit more of the detail there. And before we do, I will let you know that I'll rinse and repeat because I've said this before. The Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program, it is not static. So it's not like I build it once and then off you go, best of luck. It is a program that will evolve over time. So I think of it as, I always say the world never stops spinning. We never stop changing. The tech and economic landscape never stops changing. And so you can expect for me and Team HQ to be in the program with you, listening and asking questions and changing with you and changing with the industry and providing you with the things that you tell us that you need and want, okay? Right now, as a bookkeeper, you've either got a website, haven't got a website, or you're in the middle of trying to build one. And if you are, I feel the pain. Okay, this program is going to actually help anyone in any of those situations because I have absolutely held all of you in my mind as I've developed the program. So if you don't have a website, or if you do, or if you're developing one, this solution kind of helps all of you. But I did think of the bookkeeper with no website just to make sure that I could give everyone something to hit the ground running. So one of the things that I have done is I've been working with my team to develop and refine a killer brochure. Now, it would be easier for me to tell you what that brochure doesn't do for you, what it does do for you, but I will do my best to explain. So the reason I have gone ahead and developed a brochure for you, and we absolutely tossed around the idea of offering bookkeepers website templates, etc., but I believe that this serves you best. So we've gone ahead and we've developed this beautiful brochure, okay? And basically it has all the moving parts of what you would put in a website anyway, okay? So it's going to really kind of have a place for you to put your brand, all right? Within that brochure, you're going to have all the strategic bookkeeper unique selling propositions and selling points, which is made visual with models and your certification and more. This all contributes to your competitive advantage, okay, and helps you make clients outcome and value focused, not cost focused, okay? And that all contributes also to your profile. So I want to sit on that for a moment because that's one of the first things that you need to make visual and also present with the appropriate marketing copywriter. So the team involved there is like a branding specialist and graphic design specialist and killer marketing copywriter. So I personally have done marketing copywriter that then goes to my right hand who collaborates with me to polish that off. And the marketing copy within the brochure is designed to tell a story, okay? It's designed to take your prospective clients and your clients through the brochure in a way that connects them to why they are going to use you, okay? So if you listen to any of my other podcasts or you've read the book, you'll know that I rattle on a lot about helping bookkeepers to be able to talk in why language because people don't buy what you do, which is the bookkeeping, or they certainly don't want to pay a premium for it. They buy why you do it, okay? For example, bookkeeping is globally recognized as pillar one for the success of any business. Yeah, and we know successful business owners know and use their numbers. How well do you know and use yours? So you can see how I'm transforming what language into why language. Yeah, and there's a whole lot more in those sentences in terms of the psychology of sales that I'm not going to break down in this podcast. So then in that brochure, we showcase results-based marketing. And whether you have no clients right now or you have clients, I will show you exactly how you can put your results-based marketing in there. And to give you a little clue, if you've got Google reviews, easy. But anything that comes out of someone's mouth that they say about you, whether they are currently paying you a fee or not, is something that you can use in your results-based marketing because it's what someone's saying about you. Okay, so we make sure that we're showcasing your results. What others are saying about you is which stacks your reputation. Circling back to the profile, there's other things that we insert in there, okay, but the keys to understand here is the brochure has some of the moving parts that make it work and make it stand out, because this brochure becomes a brief for a web developer. Okay, so it's really a really big part of the process that you use to develop your website. From your profile and your reputation, we move on to your menu, which there's a whole chapter in my book on menu. And in the brochure, we dissect the menu and we kind of turn it into a story. So that includes your vision for your client, which is really, really critical. Your mission, which is how you're going to achieve that. The key problems that your clients face, the customer journey, the key benefits and outcomes you're going to achieve for them, your guarantees, and we definitely make sure that we've got clear ways to allow them to take action, which we call to action. And so the other thing to note there is your product ladder is, I guess that's a part of this beautiful brochure. And actually your brochure is a part of your product ladder as well, okay? So there's a whole podcast on that. There are 4 rungs on your product ladder as a strategic bookkeeper. You've got content, welcome lines, core products, and succession products, okay? And your welcome lines are calls to action, okay? One other thing I want to say about the brochure that I'm explaining to you is that for you to go out and develop that brochure by yourself, you would need a really great graphic designer. You would need an exceptional copywriter. You would actually need someone to do what is normally called, it's like a full brand development where they understand your industry and they dive into the problems, the solutions, they develop your vision, your mission, everything else. So that is actually the full brand strategy. You would need all of these things, and that would easily cost you in excess of $10,000 for the brochure alone. If you were going to go out and create that yourself and develop a website and all of those things, you're going to spend 2, 3, 4 times what you're going to spend in the transformation program. And let me tell you right now, none of those people are going to give you a money back guarantee. So once you've got that brochure, and we give you a nice simple way, because my HQ team is in charge of making sure that we can help you insert your logo in there and just make it yours, okay? So we have ways to do that. That is a really great brief for a web designer. Now, on top of that, we actually give you some done for you pages, and we give you support beyond that. But let me tell you right now, if you have got someone that has developed that entire process for you. So I am a bookkeeper who has spent 10 years in practice and had to build my own website because nobody was able to get me a result, okay? And then I've tested iterations and I've worked out what doesn't work and what works. I have had well-meaning experts over the years tell me, no, Jeannie, you're wrong, and we know what works and you should change yours up. Yeah, I've tried everything and I've been able to try and fail and work it out, right? So you're going to get all of that experience from me. So to rinse and repeat, that brochure is going to be the most incredible brief for your web developer that is going to save you so much money and so much time that alone can easily give you the return on investment on the program. thing about that brochure, and something I'm really passionate about, is I'm developing it so that you can have it printed really, really beautifully. And then it's actually, when you put your sales and marketing hat on, which I know is sometimes scary because bookkeepers often feel, I can't do this. And let me tell you, I'm a bookkeeper that's built this for bookkeepers, so you can do this, okay? And you're not really a seller, you're a solver. However, imagine that you speak Italian, yeah, and you're trying to speak to someone who speaks English, but they don't speak Italian and you don't speak English. That is what it is often like as a bookkeeper, trying to convey your value to a prospective client or your market. And what I want to do is give you a translation device. And that brochure acts like a translation device. And guess why I know? Because even I do it. Recently, my right hand, as I've been training her just little by little by little, and she's absolutely going to be in the program with you. She has a role at HQ. Well, she said to me, oh, Jeannie, you know what? I always find myself reverting back to the what language and not the why. And I said to her, me too. It's okay. Me too. I'm a bookkeeper too. That's why I have a menu, yeah, that I pick up and I use as a translator, and I point to it and I read from it, yeah, and it helps me to take that bookkeeper hat off and put the PR hat on and talk client, okay? So the brochure is sales and marketing collateral that you give to yourself when you're in the role of, you know, the person who is looking for more people to help and solve problems for. So rather than have them look at you confused and scratching their head, they say nod and their shoulders drop and they relax and they say, oh my goodness, how did you know? And part of the outcome there is you to be able to relax and just think, gosh, I don't even really know how this works. Like, I feel like I'm saying the same thing. And guess what? You are both saying the same thing, but you're now speaking the same language, whereas before you weren't speaking the same language. So that brochure serves as a brief for a web developer, as well as us giving you done-for-you pages. It also serves as collateral you will take to any networking event that you go to. It serves as the basis for your video sales letters, which I will hold your hand and walk you through developing, and give you all the support you need to create amazing video collateral. If that scares you, don't worry, because I will move heaven and earth to get you there. Okay, we can do some done for you collateral as well, but I'm going to work with you in the tribe to make sure that we do what's right for you and what works for you. Okay, so that beautiful brochure is an asset that works in brand, menu, attraction, conversion. It actually works in systems and team, because for systems and team, it is a part of what you are giving to the team to convey your vision, your mission, which they need to be absolutely across, because they are living the mission every day to achieve the vision for your client. This is something that threads throughout every ingredient in my 7-step method in order to be impactful like that, okay? For the purposes of this podcast, it was really around how I help you with your website, okay? How I help you build from scratch or renovate your existing, or get through the pain of being stuck right now in a process where you thought the website would be done ages ago and it's not done, okay? Because what I really want is, if you've got a website now, what I don't want you to have to do is, I don't want you to get into the program and go, oh, okay, well then the first thing I need to do is renovate my entire brand. No. What I want to do is give you done for you assets and collateral, okay, that will allow you to start kicking goals, yeah, while we go about renovating your brand, okay? So I want to be able to give you things to hit the ground running, so that we don't have to stop and do work that doesn't immediately generate results. Okay, so I've thought long and hard about this, which is why I have taken that approach. So hopefully that's given you some insights into how the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program solves that problem. Now, I would encourage you to join the waitlist. We don't have never-ending capacity, so it's going to reserve your spot for the August 1 launch. The other thing is you do get bonus specials, okay? Maybe I'll talk about those in another podcast, but that is over and out for me today, my friends.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called the Strategic Bookkeeper's Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week and I'll see you in the next episode.